Humans and cultures have always practiced body modifications in some form or another. In a world of 7.9 billion people rich with history, you can be sure that not everyone is like you and that there are plenty of things that you've never seen before. Which is why today we're going to talk about the top 5 craziest, most extreme body modifications and cultural rituals from around the world. First up, feet binding. Just how much pain are you willing to endure in the name of beauty and social expectations? Well, starting from the 10th century all the way up to 1912, Chinese girls would bind their feet together to make them smaller. The smaller the foot, the more beautiful and pleasing the woman seemed. This practice would begin at a very young age where their feet would be soaked in an herbal mixture first, and then folding the 4 smaller toes under the big toe and wrapping it tightly with a bandage to achieve a triangular shape. After that, they would arch the entire feet and wrap that with a bandage as well. Every few days the bandages would be taken off in order for the foot to be washed and then rewrapped even tighter than last time. This process would continue for 2 to 3 years until the foot finally solidified in the shape that they wanted. Their goal was to make the foot as small as 3 inches to achieve the standard of beauty. Next up, self-mummification. Imagine achieving a perfect state of enlightenment. Well, it is said that if a monk is successfully able to self-mummify themselves, then they were seen as a Buddha and had to be placed in temples to be honored and worshipped. This process and preparation took a minimum of 3 long and hard years. For 1,000 days, the monks were limited to foods like nuts, buds, and roots from trees. This diet was put in place to get rid of the fat, muscles, and moisture from their body. And near the end of their cycle, they would drink a poisonous drink made from the saps of the yurishi tree to help aid the mummification process, acting as a preservative. And the times they weren't searching for food, they would spend meditating in the mountains in order to strengthen their spirit and push them away from the common human world. After the 1,000 days were up, they would either be deemed spiritually ready for the final step, or they would repeat the cycle a few more times in order to be fully prepared. When all was said and done, the monk would fit himself in a small tomb with nothing but an air tube, sitting in the lotus position, not moving until his final breath. He would ring the bell every day to signal that he was still alive. Once the bell finally stopped ringing and the disciples knew that he passed, the air tube would then be removed and he would be sealed in there for another 1,000 days. Finally, the disciples would open the tomb, and if the monk was successful in mummifying himself, then he would be put on display in temples, being considered as a Buddha. Next up, lip plating. It may come as a surprise to some that not everyone in the world has succumbed to the technological and cultural advances that we've made. In fact, the Mursi and Suri people of southern Ethiopia have continued their way of living and kept their cultural practices. Among these practices is one of the oldest body modifications known to man. Though the average person might look at this and think it looks gross, ugly, or downright weird, lip plating is regarded very highly in their culture. No one really knows exactly why people of these tribes do this, but there have been many theories passed around. Some people say lip plating is a sign of great beauty, and the bigger the plate, the more beautiful that individual is considered to be. Others say it's to make their woman look ugly, so that outsiders and people from other tribes won't steal them away from their men. Another very interesting reason is that it represents a wife's commitment to her husband, and if the husband passes away, then her lip plate is to be removed because her external beauty is set to fade after his passing. And in case you're wondering how they even manage to stretch out their lips so much, well, from a young age, their mothers will make a small incision in the bottom of their lip while inserting a small stick into it. Over time, the stick gets bigger and bigger until 2 to 4 teeth are removed and bigger plates are able to fit in the lips. Eventually, the lip plates reach up to 12 centimeters in diameter, but the largest recorded plate is 19 centimeters, and that record is held by Taye Iligidagne. Up next, we have neck stretching. The females of Kayan, a tribe located north of Thailand, are expected to wear coils around their neck for the entirety of their lives. This is considered to be a painful process in the beginning, which starts at a young age when the female's bones are small and flexible. The common misconception is that these rings stretch the neck. However, that's not the case. The rings push down on the collarbone and ribs, creating a sort of long neck illusion. And there are many different reasons as to why women wear these rings. To the majority, long necks are coveted and are a sign of great beauty. And to others, depending on what the coils are made out of, whether that be brass or gold, it represents status and wealth. And in case you're wondering, yes, there are some limitations and side effects that are associated with this. For one, these rings stop them from leaning their heads back, which means they have to drink from straws. Also, their voices become deeper because the elongation affects their vocal cords. If that isn't bad enough, the rings get pretty hot and a lot of chafing could occur. However, these days, many women are choosing to turn their backs on this practice. Up next, Iki Palin, the finger removal ritual. Most of us go through mental and emotional pain when losing a loved one. However, for the women in the Dani tribe of Indonesia, physical pain is added in there as well. Cause you see, each time a loved one passes away, the females of that tribe are to remove the upper portion of one of their fingers. There are a few ways to perform this practice. Some use a stone blade to cut it off, others chew at their knuckles to weaken it and then tie a rope around it to do the job. And the last option is to tie the joints in order to stop the blood flow, causing the nerves and the muscles to be oxygen deprived, and once the fingers are fully dead, they fall off. Now, years ago, this ritual was banned, but it is still believed that these practices are being continued today in secrecy. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Smash that like button, run it up for the algorithms for your boy. Don't forget to subscribe for a lot more videos like this. As always, I love you beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next one.